What's going on, guys? Welcome back to NolanTCG, and we are back here today with another deck profile, and this time it's for Dragonmaids. So it's been a little while since I've done a deck profile here on the channel. I'm starting to get back into the swing of it, so just kind of bear with me as I get back into the swing of doing these on a more regular basis. I've been meaning to do a Dragonmaid profile for a little while. I've actually got a couple of things lined up that I should really be doing. I'm in a format now where I'm more than happy to kind of, or given that we're about to have all the hits and what I wanted to play has been hit on the ban list, I'm going to have a bit of fun. I'm going to be playing a bit of different things every now and then to give myself a bit of variety. And if I think something's good and it performs relatively well, I'll bring it to you here on the channel. Hopefully we don't end up with a bunch of terrible deck profiles. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way this performs. At locals, I ended up winning one locals. Another locals went alright. Weirdly, I hadn't built my side deck very well, so back row decks were a problem, and I run into a lot of them. Fun fact, when you're not playing any spell and trap destruction, it's not that great. But before we get started on this video, as always, please remember to drop down below and hit that subscribe button if you are new here, because we are always happy to have new people to the channel. And let's get on into this deck profile. Before we do get started on this one, though, it is brought to you, of course, by yourplaymat.com, who got us our beautiful NolanTCG extra deck sleeves. These are available on yourplaymat.com, as well as you can get custom sleeves and custom playmats, so whatever you need for the current format. There is an affiliate link in the description down below that does get you a little bit of a discount on your order. Also, enter the code NOLAN10YP for 10% off your order. Also kicks back a little bit to the channel, so everything will be very much appreciated. If you're shopping there, you're getting custom sleeves, custom playmats down. Make sure to enter our code at checkout. But let's get on into this deck profile. Okay, so starting us off, as always, we are playing Dragonmaids, so we do naturally have our starter. So we've got 3 copies of Chamber Dragonmaid. It makes the whole world go round. It's a Dragonmaid deck. You can't really not be playing Dragonmaids. Your Chamber Dragonmaid. Yeah, it's pretty standard at this point. Switches for every dragon, make sure to remember that. After that, we're playing 3 copies of Parlor. Again, it's standard. This card gets you, it's 1 card H seals as well as the Chamber. There's other cute things that you can do with them, but realistically, we're 1 card H seal, we're turn 3, OTK, off we go. And then last card for the little Dragonmaids is 1 copy of Nurse. We're not playing Kitchen. I think last time we had a build here on the channel, I went through why Kitchen's bad now. Realistically, you just want to play the 7. You want to have as much space in the rest of the deck for other Dragon Engine or hand traps as possible. So we're down to 7, and on our big dragons, we're down to 2. So we've got 1 copy of Lawpaw and 1 copy of Urns. Weirdly, I came up where I did need the Fire Tinic because I needed the extra 2k buff, because I had Dragoon summoned against me in Branded. That is one thing that I would consider maybe looking at, but there are ways in the extra deck you can out Dragoon pretty easily once you bait it, so it's not a massive stress to have in the main deck. Then after that, we go into our Bestial package. I have opted to play a pretty heavy Bestial line just because it searches through everything and it makes your going first board a lot better. You can consider cutting all of these cards, literally all of them, to increase your hand trap count or increase your Dragonmaid count, depending on the way you want to build the deck. But I found that this is the best way to build a going first, big board, very consistent style build. So for our Bestial line, we are playing 3 copies of the Bestial Rebellion, of course, because it can search everything. Then we have our 3 copies of Bestial Magnamit. Again, this gets out your entire deck, you toolbox it, you can summon it from deck with H seals, bounce it with Tidying. It's overall just a very, very good card, especially in this deck, because if you don't have a Dragonmaid card, it gets you your Dragonmaid card if you're going second. If you do have a Dragonmaid card, you can get to more Bestials, you can extend it different ways. Overall, very good card for the deck. Then we have just 3 one-offs after that. Given that we're not in the Tier Element format anymore, you can afford to shrink down on your Bestial lines, but each of them have their own utilities. So we've got the 1 copy of Drewsworm, 1 Sorony, and 1 Baldrake. It just makes more sense. If anything, the Baldrake's the most cuttable, because you need the Sorony for your opening combo and Drewsworm out so much. But yeah, I felt as though playing 3 was pretty understandable. Then we have my generic main hand trap of choice. It's just 3 copies of Ash Blossom. I play against a lot of Branded, so playing the Ash Blossom just is a must. Of course, if you want to switch it out for something else, do consider it. I don't personally like playing Droll in my Dragonmaid build. It does feel pretty rough. If you are going just straight second, brilliant card. But if you're going first, or if you're going, if you draw it after turn 1, going second, it's not very good at all. Just because you want to be able to also be searching on your opponent's turn, and that locks both players. creates a really awkward situation for you. Then we go into our spells after that. We have our 3 copies of Hospitality to start us off. Of course, generic extender, why wouldn't you play 3 of it? Just the 1 copy of Dragonmaid Changeover. I have long since cut the 2nd copy altogether, completely from my side deck. Given that DD Crow has been power crept by Bestials, and Dragonmaid Changeover can't be hit by Bestials, it makes things a lot easier for you. You do not even have to consider playing the 2 Changeover at all. Then we have the rest of our spells. So we've got 2 one-offs. For our Bestial combo, we play the 1 copy of Bestial Regained. Branded Regained. You're just mainly playing this for more consistency going first. You also get a cute combo that you can kind of resolve for it. As well as 1 copy of Called by the Grave coming in after that. You just want to be able to stop as many hand traps as possible. Going first, of course, still a great card you can set and then pick off your opponent. Going second, you can force things out of graveyard. It just makes sense to be playing it. Then we have our other spell cards, so our more consistency cards. So we've got 3 copies of Pot of Prosperity. You can completely cut this if you want to cut this. Weirdly, the way I've built the extra deck, I'm only ever milling for 3, and the deck's fairly consistent. But of course, if you don't see a Dragonmaid name, it's gonna be a bad time. So 3 copies of Prospers here, just to try and help guarantee that a little more. We also play 3 copies of Talents. It does conflict with the Prosp where you can't draw the cards, but in that situation, typically, I'll just rip a card my opponent rip a card out of my opponent's hand, get the knowledge. Then you know when to bounce and when to interact and so on. Then for our trap cards, we of course start off with our Dragonmaid Tidings. We've got 3 copies of that. You want to maximize this because you do not want to run out. When you run out, your grind game is pretty much over, and that is rough. Then we have our Branded Beast, again for that opening branded combo going first. Going second, you can side out this, the Regained. You can also side out the Soronir if it's not necessarily good for your matchup. So you do get a fair bit of flex going second with those cards. And then lastly, we have 3 copies of Impermanence to round out the main deck. Okay, now we do have the extra deck, and of course we do start off with our Dragonmaid package in the extra deck. So we've got our 2 copies of Shu and 2 copies of House Dragonmaid. Realistically, you can play 3. If you're gonna play 3 of any, I would probably recommend playing the 3 House because the Shu goes back. I do normally just Prosper away 1 copy of Shu and then keep the 2-2 ratio, if I do see the Prosper, of course. Then we have our Xyz next, so we've got the Heretic Dragon King Atom. Another reason why playing the Bestials is good, because it gets you to this gets you to full combo, which is always really nice to do. Then we have our 1 copy of Wallow, Founder of the Drudge Dragon. It is simply here because it can get pretty big and attack over some problems that become problematic. It is also, again, another DD Crow for your opponent. Then we have the 1 copy of Zeus that you'll typically throw in over the Wallow because Heretic Dragon of King Atom can't attack. King of Atom can't attack. Then we have our Link monsters after this. So starting us off for this, we've got our 3 copies of Heretic Seal of the Heavenly Spheres. The reason why I'm playing 3, you always prosp 1. You can cut it for, actually, you could probably definitely consider cutting it for a Pisty, which is a weird card I don't have in here. Originally when I was playing it, I completely forgot to put it in, I'll be real. So I was playing the 3H Seal. There's another card in here that comes up later on that you can probably also cut, although every card that I had in this extra deck has come up. I've played all of them. The Pisty would have also come up, so having 16 cards would be nice. So probably you could cut 1 H Seal for it. Gives you a little bit of extra room. We have the 1 copy of Striker Dragon, of course, because we want to have a Link 1 that we can put a Dragonmaid in the graveyard, reborn it back, go in H Seal. Then we have, for our Link 3s, I play 1 copy of BLS Soldier of Chaos, just because there's some random decks that can't out it, and it outs some problems that you can't deal with. And 1 copy of Triple Burst Dragon. So the reason the Triple Burst Dragon's in the deck is because you would typically go Pisty, and then when you need to clear the Pisty to go into access code, you make Triple Burst. But guess what? I don't have the Pisty in the deck. That is where the problem comes up. Then we have our Link 4s. Of course, like I mentioned, we have the 1 copy of Access Code Talker. You normally go into the Triple Burst and Triple Burst into the Access Code, but you can probably cut this for the Unicorn if you're not playing the Pisty. If you put the Pisty in, keep the Triple Burst in because you will need to get that out to get you out of being locked to dragons. And then lastly, 1 copy of Agave Dragon in the extra deck because you do not want to be punished when your opponent goes to time. But that does wrap us up here for the deck profile for this one. So as always, if you do have any recommendations or things that you would change, do make sure to comment it down below. Of course, it will help everybody out. If you like the deck profiles and want me to bring them back more often, yeah, let me know as well. I know it's been a little while, so I apologize for being a little bit rusty. But as always, I've been Ben from NolanTCG, and have a good one.